Advanced type tail wheels have a slick mechanism that is designed to automatically lock and unlock the tail wheel so that you can steer the tail wheel when you need to and easily unlock the tail wheel for zero radius turns and better maneuverability on the ground. If we take apart a tail wheel assembly, we have a square hole in the shaft of the tail wheel. That square hole houses a spring-loaded pin. This pin, called the locking pin, is what determines whether the tail wheel is locked or unlocked, and many of the common problems that we'll have with these tail wheel assemblies will be due to some sort of issue with this pin, as we will discuss later. As we reassemble the tail wheel, we'll depress this pin and slide the whole assembly up into the mounting socket. Typically, you'll want to grease these parts thoroughly before final installation, which I have not done for the sake of this video. When the tail wheel assembly is fully inserted into the mounting socket, the pin will pop out and ride in this half-moon groove here at the top of the socket. You'll notice that when the tail wheel is in trail, the pin extends out of its housing. When the tail wheel is turned past about 30 degrees either direction, the pin is pushed back into its housing, which will cause the tail wheel to unlock into its full swiveling configuration. This operation should happen smoothly on both sides. Next, we'll add the control arm to the top. The control arm has a notch to accommodate the locking pin, and the pin should be able to freely engage this notch when it is extended. With the control arm in place, we can get the complete picture of how this mechanism locks and unlocks. When the pin is extended, it engages the control arm notch, which ultimately connects the tail wheel's steering to the movement of the rudder. When you want the tail wheel to unlock, all that has to be done is rotate the tail wheel to either side. The pin will disengage, allowing the tail wheel to fully swivel. When the plane moves forward, the pin can once again engage, and the tail wheel should lock more or less automatically to its steerable configuration. If you're having trouble with your tail wheel, my advice almost always is simply to take the tail wheel assembly apart, step by step, and see if you can find what's going wrong. At each step of disassembly, rotate the tail wheel back and forth by hand, watching the locking pin closely and evaluating the function of the locking mechanism. Compare what you're seeing in each step to what you see in this video. In the next video, we'll dive into specific common issues and see what can be done to get your tail wheel working properly.